Hey guys, what's up? This is Falsepools123 on day 14 of the quarantine. So I actually just did a little bit of researching, and it turns out we are at a stay-at-home, policy. Governor just released it and all that. So, nothing really else. I've been quarantining myself like a good little bitch, so that's not really a problem on my end. If you guys notice, I am standing against my other wall. Imagine that. Usually you see in me like against. So this is the wall I usually film against. So I'm usually facing the other way. So this is what's on my other wall, and it's more paper. Imagine that. Before starting this channel, I still have these up. This was not like an aesthetical design thing. This is literally just what all of my rooms look like. Just bunch of shit on a wall because I love the organic flow of it. Um, Actually, I was going to talk about my blogging today, but I might as well just, do a sort of memory lane here where I talk about everything that makes up this wall. Why not? Let's get really weird into my, home decor. Okay, so starting up here at the top, we have, Gravity Falls. I'm actually a huge nerd if you ever, could have guessed. And so was really into Gravity Falls when I was a kid. So I'm just trying to think how to move on. Here you see this, let's see, so right here you see this diagram. So on top of being into Gravity Falls, I love Minecraft, and so I would make a lot of strip mines. Because you'd have your cave systems, which I feel that in Minecraft is probably the most not accurate, easiest way to get ores, but I would also create strip mines just because it's efficient and you get a lot of stone out of it. So a map that I made in sophomore world history class, and if I remember correctly, we made this during World War One segment, which listed all of the Allied countries and all the Axis countries and all of the non I guess Allied countries, not Allied, but non engaging countries or something like that. I don't quite remember, but it has something to do with stuff like that. So I'm just going top to bottom so we can see everything. Here is my completion of classwork medal. So this basically meant that I passed all of my final, and I did all of my classwork for basically college. Next to it is my acceptance letter, and we have two pictures here. This is me as a little baby and my mom and dad, and this is me as a kid in 2007, and this was the first white Christmas we ever had in the valley because the valley is really warm. The Rogue Valley actually is a microclimate, and it's actually a little bit like the Mediterranean, they say. So as going up, here's a clock that doesn't work because I'm an aesthetical fool and I love clocks. I saw Back to the Future when I was a kid, and I got hooked. And then a quote this was from a little coffee book that I think what it was called. I think Mrs. Murphy's Law or something. It was basically it was this weird little book of sayings that was about, instead of Murphy's Law, it was his wife. So the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. The way to a woman's heart is through the doors of a restaurant. I thought that was cute. I have a hand mirror because I like mirrors, and this is actually one of my favorite stories. So when I was in speech and debate, we had a transfer student named Boom Chatom, and she is so awesome. I hope this isn't doxing or anything, but I doubt you know her. And I guess she's a public figure technically. So basically her name was Boom, and she was awesome, and she's actually a model now, which I thought was so cool. So Boom was from I'm trying to remember. She's from Taiwan. Yeah, because it's the island. I always have to think about that because I always mix it with Thailand because of the name. But what she did was she actually, when she left as sort of a parting gift, which was really nice of her, I don't know if I ever thanked her enough. She wrote everyone's name in her class, in the speech and debate class, when she was leaving. She wrote our names in Thai, the characters. And it was such a wonderful gift. It was really a heartfelt gift. And one thing I love, though, about, my spelling of my name, because this is my name, and, Thai, is that here you see these two diacritics. So, standard spelling of my name, Ryan, which actually doesn't change because it's phonetic. And so Ryan and Ryan with like the A, it just, the second syllable really doesn't matter in my name. And I've noticed that especially when I pronounce it in like different languages. So I say, je m'appelle Ryan, or mi llamo es Ryan. And so like no matter whatever language I sort of, or ich bin ein Ryan, or like however I pronounce it, I will be having that slightly different accent on my name. The point why I'm saying that is that here with these diacritics, there's actually a rising and falling sound. So it's pronounced ri, that right, and then n. So while the standard pronunciation only has one of the diacritics. So it's really interesting, and that meant that she actually sounded out our names, that she spelt them as phonetically best as she could. And so that's really personal to me. Like, I really love that. Just because it was like an amazing gift that was just really unique. Up here is just Coos Bay that I found on a broken license plate on the other road. And then I have a... it's just a little doodle I do. It says, the hens don't like to lay when there's all the noise around. It's just like sort of this like doodle of like a hen house in this industrial area. And I just like the aesthetic of that, so I put it on the wall. There's a picture, Polaroid of me and Chris. It's like the only pic I have of us. Then there is a playing card. Oh, and over here, this is a, what is it called? Lotaria card. So I didn't know what this was as a kid, but I saw a Google Doodle and then I understood. Basically in Mexico, they have this sort of like bingo card game where you like have a bunch of these cards, and this one's El Gallo, so the rooster. And you basically have to match like the image cards with like, you know, with like the one that's drawn. And so my grandma had a bunch of Lotaria cards, and we didn't like play with them, and like they got kind of like lost the set, so I kept this one just because I really loved it. I like roosters like as an aesthetic motif. This up is, I have a good story for this one, and I'm so sorry for like reorienting this like 50. So this is a fan art of Homestuck, and if you don't know about Homestuck, let me tell you about Homestuck. I'm not going to do that. That would take too long. That might be a fun video series, maybe, one of these days, like, me just, like, actually explaining Homestuck, like the cringe trash I am. Now, I didn't commission this piece. I actually don't know who did. If you do recognize the artist, please comment down below in the comments. I would love to give credit to them. This was actually commissioned by one of my friends. I'm not going to tell you the name just because, you know, like, privacy. But basically, they made this just absolutely gorgeous Homestuck fan art. And if you know anything about Homestuck, you can see how many different references are in this like one. And pretty in-depth references. Just from some of the character depictions, which I'm not going to get into just because there's so many spoilers. But at the end of like one of the high school years, they were getting rid of the drawing because they were like over Homestuck, because they weren't Homestuck trash anymore. Yeah, it's a hard fandom to describe. And I'm just like, and like one of my other friends was like, oh, I'm going to do short, and I'm just like, nah, and I'm just like, yeet. And I just like took it up and like placed it in my notebook, and I put it on my wall. And I still love it. Like, I'm not into Homestuck anymore. I haven't been in like years, but I love the decoration because it's such a great piece of fan art. So moving down again, and sorry for the orientation, we have just sort of a geometrical. We have just sort of a geometrical design. I was really interested in these like geometrical mandalas when I was in high school. And so basically within, I would basically start with, let's see. Yeah, right there. So I would basically like start at like one spot on a thing, and I would make these I basically make these algorithmic rules for like drawing the things. So the pattern looks really complex, but essentially what I would do is in the first iteration, I would have them in cardinal directions, and then these would go to, let's see, the orange color, and you can't tell them because this orange and this red really close together, so you can't really see the faces distinctly. But then the second iteration, it would be diagonals, and I would connect them back so it has these intricate octagon shapes to it. So it has like this sort of like chain link look to the pattern. And I made a dozen of these, but I just really loved this piece. Today I enjoy it because it's asymmetric. You have this really busy side here, and then you have these simpler drawings on this end. And it looks like down here I have some sort of, yeah, here I have something to do with matrices, I see, because here's just a grid that has like planar notation. I don't know why. I don't remember what that was about, but oh, looks like I bent it a little. Oh well. So here, right here, actually, drawing down, we notice that we have a few more commemorations. Remember, like I mentioned, that we had my medal there. These are actually my graduation tassels. This one was from high school, 16, and this one I managed to lose the little tag for it, but this was my 2019 tassel. I took a gap year for college. I don't know if I might actually show you my other wall and actually like talk about what's on the wall there, but not today. That'll be for like next week. But so these are both of my graduation tassels, and I just love keeping them. Here is my little key set. I don't actually have any keys for it right now, that's why it's hanging on my wall. But let's see, this is a map for Iron Bluffs, which is one of the towns in my D&D campaign. This is like a fan art, I guess, or sort of like a module image for my All Is He campaign. And I don't distinguish it very well, so it kind of looks like all icy on the thing. But this is sort of like, you know, a really rough sketch of what like a module art would look like for it. And I only got really two more things to show you on this wall. This is my flag that I had from medieval times. So I went there when I was in high school. We went, and it was like so much fun. Like I loved the acting and the just the food was pretty good as well. The only thing I didn't like was while we were there, there was like this battle where this guy like had the choice to choose between like a sword and like a shield or like a net or something, and he just like chose like the most basic like sword and shield option. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good like smart move duel wise, but you couldn't have like spice it up with like, you know, a net and shield or like two swords or like even two shields. Like that would be a fascinating battle to use like a shield as both like an offensive and defensive weapon. But you know, like I wasn't fighting to my death in like a high stakes medieval duel, so whatever. And this is actually from the let me just wave that around. And this is from the same year. The same trip, actually. This was my map, one of my maps, I had like 15 of these by the end of it, of Disneyland. Because I went to Disneyland my senior year. Oh my gosh, my parents fought about it so much for some dumb reason. But basically, I kept a map of it, which you can't see most of the time because there's a giant-ass flag hanging over it. But you can like see it in the corner right there, and it kind of fills out the space. Anyway, guys, that is everything that is on my wall hanging right there. Okay guys, back to my face now. Hopefully you enjoyed that video, and yeah, I am on the other wall, but the thing is, I like to sit down, and I can't sit down over there. My hand's in the way. But the point is that I just really hope that you enjoyed the end of this segment. I hope you enjoy, like, you know, this week's quarantine videos. I tried really hard to make, like, you know, really figure out how to do a week of vlogging. And it's a learning curve. I'm learning. I'm new at this. And hopefully you can forgive the amateurs at the amateurness. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I worked really hard on it. Well, let's be honest, I didn't. But I pretended to work hard on it. Either way, I had a lot of fun making this, at least. And I hope you had a lot of fun watching it. In the future, let me know what you want to see on these types of vlogs, if you like these types of vlogs, and just anything I can do to really improve the quality. Do you want to like maybe see me go out some more? Is there any sort of topics you want me to talk about while doing quarantines? And like definitely length, I think would be probably a big discussion point. So tell me in the comments if you think this video is too long or too short, or just have at it. I want to know what sort of sick fuck thinks these videos are too short. And I want to meet these people because I have just the right channel for you. It ain't rambling for 45 minutes. I'm your guy. Anyway, guys, truth being told, I am exhausted. I have been doing stuff all day. And none of it was video worthy, sadly enough. It'd be really cool if it was, but it ain't. But I'm just gonna finish this up. I hope you guys have a good day. I hope you enjoy yourself, and just remember, stay safe, wash your hand. It is interesting times out there, and that means we're going absolutely stir crazy, holed up in our foxholes. But that being said, I want you to have a good day anyway, okay? So, all in all, this is False Bulls. 1, 2, 3. Sad enough.